Hey, this is Kelly.
And this is Sue.
Welcome to Front Porch AF, where friends and neighbors
gather to have a drink and a laugh and figure out how to solve all the problems of the world. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
Yeah, we'll talk about I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what are we doing today?
well, among many other things, because
Right.
you are still a working woman, but we've got a great guest. My old friend Craig Havighurst, and I'm
Oh,
going to
Yeah, this
for
is
the
gonna
for
be
the
cool.
TV screen. I mean, for YouTube,
For the
whatever.
YouTube.
He's written a book called Musicality for Modern Humans: How to Listen Like an Artist. He's a music journalist and a sonic thought provoker. That's the best I
That's
think
high
I could.
praise.
Yeah, it is.
I really
and
like
the bar
that.
here in Nashville is pretty damn high.
I know.
So anyway, stick around. New music appreciation
know.
methods.
I'm pretty psyched about learning
Yeah.
about that today.
Okay.
Anyway, you want to talk about our journey?
I think we're going to talk about our journey. As
You know.
you've heard, I'm drinking water. Are you drinking NA?
I'm drinking an NA beer, this
Okay.
Athletica Light.
Because
Anyway,
yes,
you know,
we
it's
went
beer and
non-alcoholic for a whole week. Not even one drop of
I was
alcohol.
like almost 3 weeks
Was it for you? Yeah.
till the cat died.
Oh.
R.I.P.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Mojo.
Mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But so I have my beer, but I have a very special huggy today.
Okay.
This is Mitch, my bonus son-in-law.
That's right.
And he had this made, and he and Heather just got back from Maine, the state of Maine. And
That's the one with the E at the end
it's
of
one
it.
with the E, and you know.
Uh-huh.
And so he got a picture of us and printed on a koozie called "My Maine Girls."
You know what you just said?
What?
You said koozie. It's working. The plot is working.
Lord, I need my head examined. But how cute
It's
is
menopause.
that?
It's menopause.
It's menopause. I love Maine, and so
That's
I thought
great.
that was great. It's super cool.
I'm drinking out of a recycled orange juice bottle because I'm too cheap, to buy plastic bottles. And also, I don't like to put all that plastic in.
Right,
But it's
that
just
makes
water.
sense.
You know,
I love it.
It's just
It
water.
looks like it's cold.
I know.
It's sweating there.
So we're not. Well, I am drinking still occasionally when I go out.
Yeah.
Hardly drink
I had
at home,
a
yeah.
beer the other day when I met you at the
Yeah,
bar, but
yeah.
otherwise, I'm kind of NA.
Wow.
But there's always Willie's, right?
There is always Willie's or Margot's.
Or Margot's.
Yeah.
That's right. So you can.
5 milligrams THC in Margot's.
Yeah.
28,000 in Willie's. Okay. Oh, we got neighborhood notes
Neighborhood
galore.
notes, I know.
You go first.
Well, let's see. What do I need to talk about? I was in California last week for a couple of days. I've been watching the Eagles on the Big Bear Lake, following the story of Jackie and Shadows. I don't know who's following that, but
Yeah.
Jackie
Died.
went across Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah,
Yes, she
yeah.
died. And Shadow has a new friend. They got a new young female eagle that's been coming around. But it's really a great story because they've got the cams out, and so you can watch the cameras. You can see the eagles doing everything.
We'll put a link to the camera
Yeah.
on our webpage.
And because of that, because she got sick, they had this piece of property they were trying to save. And because of Jackie's story and it going so public, they got enough donations to buy this 63-acre wildlife preserve that they will preserve for the eagles. It was going to go be developed and houses.
That is really great.
So that was really cool. Like it
When
even though she,
when I heard you say I was watching the Eagles,
yeah.
when I thought you had gone to Las Vegas to see the Eagles
No, I
in
don't-
the Sphere.
I'm not. Vegas is on my bucket list of things I do not want to do.
Oh,
Okay.
So you and I can't do it. We
Yeah.
still need a road trip to Dolly's.
We do
Yeah.
have to go down to Dolly's.
Anyway, more notes from you.
More notes. I had another tree fall down. If anybody wants to come help me with trees, I'm
This-
also looking.
by the way, you could just every week we could just put in which tree fell down this week.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm looking for recommendations for NA beers. I'm on a new adventure to find the best NA beer.
Oh,
I'm
recommendations for
yeah.
NA beers. Okay.
Yeah, trying them all, and then that's about it. I did get nominated to be in the group of people that might be on the Metro Animal Welfare Board.
Okay.
So now the council has to vote on that. So that's where That is. I
We
could
know a couple
possibly
of people
be
on the
helping.
council. It
I
might,
know.
yeah, it
Yeah.
might just.
I need 21 votes.
Oh, you do? That's
Yeah.
going to cost me a lot. I'm sorry.
So there's 40 people on council.
I know. And now is about the time when I'm thinking, yeah, let's cut it down because I can't afford to bribe 40. I could maybe bribe 20.
We're gonna
You know, if
figure
they
out-
take a $2 bill.
I know. We'll see if they take a $2 bill. Anyway, that's not really all I've got from my neighborhood notes. Like I've had such a pretty boring life lately.
Well, no, it hasn't been. Where you've just been busy.
Yeah.
You've just been very, very busy.
Okay. Well, what about you? You must have
Okay,
something
well,
exciting.
I got turned down. You know, we're going to Alaska next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got turned down from joining the Facebook group for that particular cruise.
How did that
because
happen?
they didn't like the answer to a question. You have to take a little quiz
Okay.
before you get approved. I don't know what question they wanted, and I just answered truthfully. Like, why do you want to go on this? Because I want to meet my people. Whatever it is. Maybe they looked at you know what? They could have looked at my Facebook profile, and I might have had something really weird up.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, I put up temporary profile pictures. You know, it might have been of, you know,
What did you?
Pretty Boy Floyd the Outlaw or Gorgeous George Wrestler.
That's just weird, though.
I know, but I got turned down.
I mean, it's weird that they turned you down. Like you fit all the demographics of people that would go on that cruise.
Yeah, old. Shut up. I worked election day.
Thank you
at the
for your
polls.
service. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. Thank you for thanking me.
A long day, huh?
Oh God, you know it's a 12-hour open, 7 to 7, but there's an hour prep and an hour turned takedown, and your ass is on a hard chair the whole time. Even I bring my little cushion, and I tell you, my knees were giving out. I may not be able to do it anymore.
Do you get any? It's total volunteer.
Well, you
Do they
get
give
paid.
you lunch?
No, you don't get lunch. You've got to bring. It cost me like $12 to do this. You get $175 for
Okay.
doing for a 14-hour day, getting there at 6 a.m. and
Yeah.
leaving at about 8 p.m.
At least you get a little something. I mean, that's better than like
Yes.
nothing.
Yes, it's better than nothing. But nobody does it for the money.
Yeah, well, I know.
You know, well, if they do,
Bless their hearts, right?
Yeah, bless their hearts.
What else?
Mark and I were in a music video for our friends, Tower Defense. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I love this. Mark's outfit was the best.
Oh, you saw? That's right. You saw. You can see his little tiny fizz.
He's got a little
And by
fizz.
the time this airs, there will be links, and we'll have videos.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And that website again is.
www.frontporchaf.com.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Wasn't there anything else? Are we just that boring?
I mean, it's just been so like a fast-paced week, and we got through the election, and then life has to happen. More life has to happen.
And there
right?
were by the way, for everybody out there, when we talk about Mojo, the Mojo, the Judge Miller cat, 16 and a half years, went over the Rainbow Bridge a couple of days ago,
Yep.
and she was a flood kitty.
That's right, 2010, right?
5 or 6 weeks old, literally washed up in the flood on into our front porch in 2010.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great story.
Yeah, and she's a great little kitty. So, and it was peaceful, very peaceful for her. So, yeah.
That's good.
Now let's go to the mailbag because we've got.
I have something in the mailbag.
You do?
Yes.
Oh my God! You go first because you never have anything. Now I need to know what's in the mailbag.
Okay, so I have this good friend named Dabs who's down in New Orleans, and she's down there doing an art installation for some other friends of ours, and she's been down there probably 4 to 6 weeks. And so I get a message from her on Instagram. She said, "Hey, you're right about blue plate mayonnaise." It was the best message I got.
It is. It is. All right. So Blue Plate has 1 vote. By the way, I forgot. I had a neighborhood note. But I'm going to integrate it into the mailbag, my mailbag. Are you done with your mailbag?
That's it. That's
okay. And this is not really a mailbag, but it's a really fun fact. One of our videos for Emma Smith.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
One of our videos for Emma Smith, the one about do you ever lose interest in sex? It's like 15 seconds, 12 seconds, had more than 33,000 views. We went viral.
Is that combined?
Combined, the
Okay.
two postings. So yay to us. And you know what we're going to do to celebrate?
What?
This is the best anniversary gift any husband ever got. Now, everybody out there in radio land, I know you can't see this. So once I get it going, I'm going to describe it. But right now,
I need
this
some more context. I need some more info. Like,
it's a miniature. It's a miniature desk size. One of those horrible
floppies.
What are they calling?
Mr. Floppy. I
Mr.
guess.
Floppy is where the airflow goes up and the arms are waving everywhere. My wonderful partner of 46 years, our audio guru, the love of my life, got me this for our 46th anniversary. Thank you, honey. It couldn't be better.
I mean, I just have to know, like, why was that even on your list of things? But also,
please note, I'm going to call him Donald.
Oh, we better move on to the next neighborhood note.
We've had some unusual comments on the Afton Bain thing.
Well, based on the comments she got, she gets on the daily.
Yeah.
I think they were pretty mild.
It's interesting. Boy, if you're a politician, you got to get this stuff all the time. It is the most negative comments I think we've ever had.
Yeah, I mean,
other than my hair and makeup. I mean, I remember somebody just, and that was my sister Kit.
Never mind. That didn't count. No, I think as a public person, you have to have that thick skin, especially a politician, because it is so polarized, and some of the things people feel like they can or willing to say these days is pretty rough. And so thank you, Afton, for being with us and for being a tough mother.
Yep, for having thick skin.
Yep.
Speaking of thick skin, you ever been a musician in Nashville? Okay.
Good Lord.
Okay. Well, how do you like that for a segue?
I love that.
What's
for
a
a
segue? Oh, pound and a half. Here we go. I'm introducing, and as you know, I've got to read this because otherwise I will screw up massively. I've already screwed it up. I can't even read this.
You can do it.
Okay, thank you. Sisters doing it for themselves.
That's all right.
I first met Craig Havighurst when I moved to Nashville in 2003. He's been covering the art, science, and commerce of music from Nashville since the 1990s as a multimedia journalist with the Tennessean, WPLN, NPR, and for 10 years now, Craig has been talk show host, his show is called The String, and news reporter for WMOT 89.5 FM, Americana's flagship station here. Craig has carved out a unique path on the musical landscape. When I first met him, he was about to publish his first book, The Acclaimed History of Nashville's Legendary Radio Station, called Air Castle of the South, WSM and the Making of Music City. And a little aside here, it is truly a great book, great history. But his new book, Musicality for Modern Humans, How to Listen Like an Artist, is what brings him here today. We're going to talk with Craig about how to listen to music, especially new music, like an artist, how to reset our expectations and learn how to open up our ears and our minds. Please welcome the author of Musicality for Modern Humans, my old friend, Craig Havighurst.
Yay!
Hey, folks. Hey, Sue. Hey, Kelly. Nice to be here.
Thanks for being here, Craig.
Oh, what a treat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
This is a lot of joy.
Let me get right into it. Musicality for Modern Humans. And this is, we only have a short time.
Yeah.
It is so rich. This book, I'll hold it up and there'll be all sorts of links and everything on the website. It is so rich and with food for so much sonic thought. There's science, there's music theory, performance, artistry, engineering. Anyway, there's too much to do justice to the whole book in such a short time. Could we concentrate on perhaps listening to new music?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. But before we get to that, which is my favorite subject in your book, tell us more about how you like to unpack music for your audience. The tone, the timbre. I'm reading this from your notes. That's how I know it.
Well, yeah, that tone, time, and timbre little little trick of the, little alliteration there for the audience. I mean, it's kind of struck me that you could put all of the ingredients of music into those three buckets. Tone being all of harmony, melody, anything to do with notes and pitches. Time is obviously the rhythmic structure. And I like to point out, too, that music is a temporal art form where you must commit to exactly the amount of time that the work takes up. You have to you have to occupy yourself with that for that period of time. So that's part of the time I like to include into the time, tone, time, timbre. And timbre is this lesser known term.
Yeah,
and
I don't know what it is.
And it is the color of sound. It is the textures you're getting, the choices of instruments is really the way that musicians influence timbre. Because you could imagine hearing absolutely sublime piece of music, let's say a string quartet, and if they played exactly the same notes in exactly the same phrasing and time, they did it on kazoos, right? It would be a disaster.
Yeah.
You have to choose the right instruments for the work. And then, of course, in our Americana space, guitar players, they obsessively choose their instrument and their amplifier and their pedals, and they are twiddling those knobs, and they're using their, and every choice is a timbral choice. What is the actual sound that's going to reach the ears of the listener? Musicians think about timbre way more than audiences do, but audiences feel and receive timbre with much more impact than they realize.
We don't know that this would have not sounded the way it is if they had picked another instrument or sung a different singer had sung it. You know,
if Tony Rice had played a crappy Takamine guitar, a Kmart guitar, and played that music, he probably would have sounded better than most guitar players. But you'd still be like, why is that? Instead, he's playing this defining, Martin D18, I believe it was. And he chose that guitar for a reason. He wanted it to make the sound he's making. Plus, classical violinists, they spend so much time and money choosing their instrument. It's their voice. It's the extension of their heart and soul. So that's what timbre is. And I think I have a whole chapter about it. I even describe, and I do like to write about science of music. And I think that people should understand a little more about the techniques, and the nature of how sound gets made. So I describe just sort of a little bit of basics about the overtone series and harmonics and why one instrument sounds different than another.
A little aside, two asides. You gave the most amazing lecture up at Bongo Java maybe 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Is that available anywhere? On
pieces
video?
Of it are. Okay. I broke out about 6 different nuggets, and those nuggets almost all made it into the book. That show is called String Theory, and it was that which picks up on my blog name and the name of my show, The String. It's kind of my metaphor. But most of those constructs, I was kind of road testing some concepts there.
We will put if you let me know where they are.
Yeah, they're on my YouTube
online.
channel.
Okay, sure. Then I will get it. Secondly, talk about awakening in music. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your awakening, because when you start listening to a classical piece, somebody might not feel something, but I happen to know the story of how you first connected, the Rosenkavalier story.
Yeah, that's the Der Rosenkavalier is an opera by Richard Strauss, and there is an orchestral suite that it plucks out some of the themes that another composer actually put together that helps an audience hear a non-operatic version of the best of the music from that. It's a particular piece. Anyway, whether this was my most important music revelation before I turned 20 years old, I don't know, but it was a big one. And so I opened the book with this scene where I'm in youth orchestra. I'm in the All-State Youth Orchestra for North Carolina in probably 1980. I don't know. I was 50.
When you were 2.
I was young.
Interesting.
I was in my teens, and I had auditioned for and gotten a place in the giant string section. I was a violinist, and it was the first time I'd played with anything but the local youth orchestra. So it sounded better. Everything was more in tune. It was more in time. It was under the direction of a better conductor. And it sort of, everything came together. Plus that piece, and I think my dad might have set me up by saying, oh, that's a really interesting, beautiful piece of music. I remember them loving Strauss especially. My folks are big opera fans, so they knew the work. So I might have been primed a little bit, but on its own, it was this piece where I just had this memory. I can see where I was. I can see the people around me, and I can feel the goosebumps of hitting this particular passage where it all kind of came together. And my point in the opening anecdote is to realize that all this emotion that hit me, you know, like in your teenager, the hormones are intense, right?
Yeah.
So many of us associate our first rush of emotion with music with pop or rock and roll, because rock and roll is loud and powerful, and it's got power chords, it's got a drum beat, and it's got this big charismatic singer with a voice doing something dramatic. And this was instrumental music producing the same emotional reaction. And so the book is really about instrumental music, because as I say, vocal music, song-based music is doing real good in our culture. It is. It doesn't need any extra help. We have a wonderful, dynamic, rich, massive economy built around song-based music. Now, all that music has musical infrastructure in it. It has musical furniture. It has the backing tracks, the rhythmic, the choices of the instruments and so forth. But we definitely, as a culture, have gotten alienated from instrumental music. We just don't listen to it much.
You're right.
It streams, jazz and classical, which are kind of my proxies for what is instrumental music. Those are not exclusively instrumental, but jazz and classical together account for about 3% of all the music streamed.
No.
Yeah, 3%.
I'm not surprised.
And I feel like that's really America missing out on its own heritage in jazz, which is just tragic to me. Jazz is the most extraordinary, diverse, beautiful music where you can go find any sound that appeals to you within the jazz universe. It is not a monolithic, single kind of a sound. And it's humans making music spontaneously in the moment, improvising and doing it in a group dynamic. It's incredible.
But don't you find that instrumental-lessness has only been in the last 40 or 50 years?
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid in the 50s, there were lots of were there still instrumentals on the radio when you were a kid?
Not in the,
No, not really.
Not in the
So,
late 80s and
yeah,
early 90s. It was Garth Brooks.
Well, anyway, what's wrong with the way we listen to music? What's brought it?
What can we do? What can we do differently?
Yeah.
How can we hear
I
music
definitely
differently?
don't want to tell America that you're doing it wrong. I don't want to be that guy. You know, that's not and I think a lot of people have been led astray by implications from the world of jazz, the world of classical, the world of experimental or avant-garde music, that, well, if you don't get it, you're just not up to this, you'll never get it. And that's just BS. And it's a case of people not knowing what they don't know, not having been exposed at a time, place, and manner that they were really ready and primed to receive it. I was super lucky, and it took me years to realize this, to have grown up in a household that had really high quality music on the stereo, that had NPR running with whatever they were sampling, all the variety that they were giving features about. And parents who weren't into jazz, but they certainly supported my jazz habit when I, about age 15, 16, began to try to buy records, go to shows. My mom took me and my sister to, Ness is in the book too, to see the Buddy Rich Big Band when I was probably 15, because that was the point where I began to bug her about getting a drum set. And I got a drum set in 7th grade Christmas. After a couple of years of begging, I got a drum set. And that sent me off in another direction where I suddenly learned about the rhythmic structure behind jazz, pop, rock and roll, and began to distinguish one drummer from another, which I just think that most people never get to that place in their journey where they're like, oh, I thought drummers were interchangeable parts, and if one dies, like in Spinal Tap, they just throw another one up there. They just
It kind of seems like that.
They just kind of keep time.
Yeah.
But especially in the jazz idiom, drummers are unique, mature, complete musicians who have a lot to say and who can say a ton with their four limbs on a drum kit.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a case of people, I want to wake people up to, oh, if I have one little insight about this one little piece, then there's another one, there's another connection to be made to another and another and another. It's a journey of connect the dots.
When you were a kid, by the way, her mother is a professional musician.
Well,
Yeah.
Playing what?
Yeah.
My mom played upright bass.
Oh, see, that's an amazing instrument to be around. If you're around a bass player, the challenges that they have in a band, the role they play, the notes they choose. This was another example from the book. A teacher, when I took up the bass a couple years after the drums, because I was just like, what is my instrument? What's my vibe? Showed me how to listen to Paul McCartney's bass lines. And it had not occurred to me that there was anything special going on with the bass line. That was just in the background, assumed, take it for granted. And it was like when I really realized how much motion, harmonic motion was going on, the rhythmic choices he was making, it was very much like hearing Bach or hearing Mozart or hearing, they were classically trained young men or classically attuned. They were not trained, but they were definitely invested and involved in composed music. And so a bass player, to be around a bass player is a gift.
Oh, that's great. Well,
you got
she was great. I'll have to tell her that.
Yeah. I actually, Kelly said, how can we expose ourselves? What are some tactics that you think that might help us be more open to new music?
There's so much on the internet. There's so much, and YouTube is really the way. If you want to just go down some new rabbit holes, I just really would encourage people to throw on something you've never thought about listening to before. Not something you haven't listened to, something you've never thought about listening to. Remember when that Bulgarian women's choir came around 10 years ago and it was a big thing? Let's try that. What does a drum ensemble from Ghana sound like? Let's dial that up. Let's focus on that. Let's listen to it. Or different music from different periods. Early jazz guitar, Wes Montgomery or Lonnie Johnson. Find a thing that you're like, I've never thought about it. And for that reason, you should go and explore it. That's
cool.
one tactic.
Very cool. I have a question that's sort of a little bit off on a tangent, but when you look at like what's coming out of Music Row now in country in Nashville, I'm very formulaic. Why does that work? Why does that work for a large part of our population?
Well, I'm going to note that I've been having conversations and listening sessions lately that I'm very happy to say Music Row is in a swing towards some very creative and novel and inspired stuff. And we have a new 16-week Hot 100 #1 in Ella Langley. That's a darn good country song, and a country song that could have popped out in 1995 too. I think it would have gone over well. And popular music is a business and an art of business, or a business made of art, that has a incredible story to tell, incredible history, incredible legacy, because popular music gave us Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole. Popular music, the industry, the major labels, the much maligned major labels, and in quotes, gave us Aretha Franklin and gave us just everything we could name from the 20th century that defined our American culture. In the post-MTV era, when instrumentals did fall off of radio, which also coincided with the beginning of consolidated ownership of radio stations, centralized playlists, demographic targeting, that's where we began to get into stuff that was really derivative on purpose. And of course, since the 60s, the industry is like, well, wow, if one sound blows up, well, get me another Garth Brooks, and the formulaicism is always present, but my hope is that people will develop some skills, some listening tactics, and some taste, some sort of inner taste meters, that help them distinguish between the ho-hum and the inspired, and be able to identify that is good.
Yeah.
And I have an interesting, ongoing conversation with my wife over the years where she'll say about some piece, or something on TV, something we hear in a show, and she'll say, was that good? And I think it's like a very fabulous question. Like, yes, you should ask that of somebody that's had experience with this kind of music. Especially if it was a solo in something in sort of a more avant-garde jazz setting. And then if you're like, well, why was it good, Craig? I'd be like, okay, I'm going to really reach down and try to come up with something. But, it has to do with imagination. It has to do with a sort of sense that only they could have made that sound right now or something, And yeah, the formalism of pop music, there's also something wonderful about it. I love bluegrass. Bluegrass has certain genre tropes that, you're going to kind of have the same kickoffs of songs, some of the same chord progressions, some of the same ways of singing, some of the same melodies get recycled. But even in a recycled melody, something from The Great Speckled Bird is a great hit country classic that's a recycled melody. It's been used many times.
Yes. It wasn't God who made honky-tonk women.
Yeah. And there is a way of, in that moment, making it a personal statement. And you want to be just alert to the empathy that's going on in the room when those, oh my God, that's better. That's good.
I have a question that when you talk about exposing yourself to new music, what do you think algorithms have done to our new listening? The difference between a DJ who curates and brings you new music, like on WMOT, versus an algorithm that brings you music only they know you will like. Is that playing a big part in this? Because when you go on YouTube, the next video that they show you will have elements of things that you liked.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to distinguish between the YouTube music discovery algorithm and the rest of the streaming world, which YouTube is pretty darn bad, and the Spotify, going back to Pandora, was kind of the OG music algorithm, discovery algorithm. And I'm a big defender of music streaming service algorithms, with a big asterisk. If you are a formulaic listener, it will give you more of the same. You have to train your algorithm to think of you as a musically curious person. They do not default to a music open, omnivorous kind of attitude toward music. The algorithm is as strong as you train it to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine's pretty good because I go from Snake Farm to, I don't know, something crazy.
Well, you're a Swiftie.
To Taylor Swift, right? So
and,
mine gets really crazy sometimes.
I use Tidal as my streaming service, and when in my jazz space where I really have no tools to know what's hip and new and what are the new releases, because I'm not reading those magazines. I'm getting it from the algorithm exclusively. I feel very well served.
By the way, I want to tell you, you have several playlists that you talk about.
Yeah.
And associated with your book, you have one that is based on the songs you talk about or inspired by the works that and the writing in Musicality. It has 94 tracks. I listened all the way through to every track. It took me several days.
I applaud you. That's amazing.
And even though I thought I didn't want to hear it, I made myself sit there and listen to everyone. I highly recommend this experience. There were things, nobody, I'm going to tell you, you put Cher next to Iggy Pop. Or, they just came out and you do unexpected cuts by people.
Yeah, and I tell you, there was no thought really to segues. Like if I was to curate a playlist with a different purpose, I would think about how does this song serve the next one, and that's not a factor in this. This is a really random hodgepodge. It was inspired by the aspects of music I was talking about chapter by chapter. So Cher is when I get into intonation and the phenomenon of auto-tune and the pros and cons of auto-tune. It's not an entirely evil technology. But, that was a case of auto-tune being used really creatively at the time. And then I get into how it got completely overused and derivative, like everybody trying to hit that same that hit. But I do believe in eclecticism, and I think what I will also say about the playlist is that as you get toward the last dozen tracks, you're very much in just me picking cool stuff from my recent listening habits that is contemporary music in the instrumental space that I would love people to hear.
Yeah.
And I think there's some more, I think there'll be like you could be surprised by some of the just dope ass stuff you'll hear in today's jazz world.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. We'll have our separate discussion about compared to what and why it didn't make your cut. For Les McCann, Eddie Harris, Swiss Move It. Trust me, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fake that. I'm gonna fake a Spotify list that copies yours exactly, but I'm gonna slide in Les McCann and Eddie Harris.
That's all that you missed was Les McCann?
That's the only one I missed. Anyway, what else do you want to tell us before we have to wind up?
Only that you don't have to have a music theory course to get the stuff about music theory that animates good music. That there is nuggets of information that I like to compare to the rules of the major sports we see on TV. Most Americans understand the basic rules of baseball: 3 strikes, 4 balls, 3 outs in half an inning. And you can't follow a game unless you know the basic object of the game. What is success and what is failure, and what does action look like? A double play means something to baseball fans, yet a non-baseball fan will be like, "What's a double play?" I think that you want to set people up to go, "Oh, that was that double play you're talking about. Whoa, that was pretty amazing. Look how close they came to getting that. The runner made it, but they got 2 outs instead of 1." But the book is full of nuggets like that. Listen for X, Y, or Z. That's my mantra. Listen for is more engaged and active and reciprocal than listening to, which is what we typically do. Put it on. And there's room for casual listening. There's room for background music. It's not like that. But I do think that in a on-the-go culture, many people don't ever find themselves between 2 speakers, focused in the privacy of their own home, listening to something that either truly excites them from their history or that's on the edge of what they know, or listening to something for the 3rd time they've just discovered, which is kind of when things really start to sing, is that 3rd pass. And it is a personal journey where you're never going to be dinged for knowing too little. You can never know too much. And I will die, we'll all die with just tons of musical knowledge that we haven't learned. But it's about what we pick up as individuals through a lifetime journey. And because it's something that's not connected to our youthful athleticism or our health or most anything else except for our oral health, to be sure, with respect to people who have hearing disabilities. But it's something you can do from your early teens. I think that's when we begin to put these circuitry together to get it. It's not childhood thing. This is not but babies and children should be exposed to nice music. But from your teens to your last breath, music, you'll be growing and growing and growing because it's there to be learned.
I love that.
Hey, go for it.
Okay, so WMOT, what's going on with WMOT these days? And
we have great news because we're about to celebrate our 10th birthday on September the 2nd. And we're going to do we're not doing a major event. We're doing 2 community gatherings, one at lunch at Brown Steiner, and then one at happy hour at Robert's Western World. 2 places that mean a lot to our station and to the Nashville music community and our culture. And then we also have Americana Fest Day Stage coming up for the that'll be the 9th time. It's the first year we didn't get to do a day stage. But we are back at the East Side Bowl on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of Americana Fest from noon to 5. It's an astonishing lineup. And we just are feeling so good about where we're at after 10 years. We are a team. We are a family. We are invested in the community. And we want to do anything we can for the musical life of this town.
And if you can't pick up 89.5, WMOT.org. Hit the listen button.
Yeah,
And
this
we'll have
is
all those. We'll have all those
great
links.
station, and I love all the concerts you're putting on around.
Oh, yes.
We went to the
Oh,
Hermitage the other night
All
and
right.
so on. It just, I love it. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
And
It's-
you know,
I'm proud
the
to be
one
part
thing
of
that
it.
we didn't mention is the co-founder. If you guys are out there, I forgot to mention it. Co-founder of Music City Roots, the
Yeah.
greatest collection of musical acts, and talk about eclectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you, and all the guys who brought us so many years of such joy. You know, there was even a bus. But for
a while we had the
for
bus
a
to
while we had the
Franklin.
bus. Oh God, I love that.
Yeah.
All
Good
right,
memories.
thank you, Craig Havighurst.
Thanks,
you,
Sue. Thanks,
Craig.
Kelly. It's a treat.
Musicality for Modern Humans. You also want people to know about, if I'm not mistaken, all of this will be on the website. Nashville Jazz Workshop, the International Bluegrass Music Association, and the World Central Kitchen. So we're going to put all those
International
links.
Bluegrass.
All
I love
those
that.
links.
Do you go to Spigma?
So every few years, I'll get over to Spigma, which is the wildest jam session in the halls you ever saw.
It's great.
It
isn't
is.
it?
Society for
It's
the
a real
Preservation.
down-home bluegrass convention at the Sheraton Music City in February.
Tell them the acronym again so that folks who aren't familiar with
the Society for the Preservation of Bluegrass Music in America.
All right.
Spigma.
We will
Yep.
put that.
It's a
all
great,
right.
it's a scene.
Well-
a total vibe and a total scene.
Thanks again.
So is
for-
Wednesday nights at the Legion. Bluegrass Wednesdays
yeah.
is going on.
Oh, yeah.
And yep.
Oh, we got to do that.
You got to go kind
American,
of late.
American Legion, Post 82.
We'll be there
Come on
every
down.
night. 'Cause
All
we
right.
go to Rocky Talk on Thursdays. We'll
Yeah.
do bluegrass on Wednesdays.
All right.
right.
Thank you again. Upcoming shows.
We are having more shows besides this after this one.
And our next one will be with another dear friend of mine, Betsy Phillips, historian who wrote Dynamite Nashville about the KKK and Nashville bombings in the 50s and 60s.
It's gonna
Stay
be
tuned for
special.
some for some explosive
material.
Yeah, explosive material.
And then we've got we'll have Kelly Stagler on after that, where we talk about dementia,
Yep.
dementia care, and she runs a living facility for people with dementia. So that's going to be a good one.
And we still are trying to get the taste test rounded out. Elizabeth Cook is the queen pin on that one, but she's a little busy.
She's
these
a little
days.
busy with the Easy Kind and great television.
Yeah. So anyway, now it's the socials. It's the social report. Over to our correspondent, Kelly.
You can find us anywhere you get your podcast, and on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook
and TikTok.
TikTok,
But
never,
ever
that one.
that one.
And on the World Wide Web at www.frontporchaf.com.
And you don't need the HTTPS : /
But it's fun
that-
to say.
It is fun to say. All right.
All right. Thanks,
Ladies
Sue.
and gentlemen, boys and girls, all ships at sea. Time to gather around,
Oh, until next time when we gather on our front porch.
grab a drink, and solve all the problems of the world. Cheers,
Cheers, y'all.
y'all.